Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jenny. For those of you who are new here, welcome. I want to welcome you to my channel. For those of you who have been supporting my channel throughout this past year and my evolving kind of journey into the land of YouTube, I want to thank you all for all of your support. I read and try to comment on every single comment. So I just want to take a minute to just thank all of you. I am going to try to talk a little bit about this past year and then some things that I have in store for my channel for next year. So one of the things that I like to do some very loose goals. I'm not the type of person personally or for my hobby where I set very specific goals for myself for the fear really of or that feeling of kind of just down if I don't accomplish something or don't reach a particular goal. This is my hobby, so I like to just keep really loose goals. One of the things that I started back in 2019, just grabbing a couple of things here. Back in 2019, I started this notebook. And I decided that year to keep track of the number of layouts. So this is the last week in December. So for this week, I, as of right now, completed, it's not the full week quite yet, and I do have some downtime. This number could shift a little bit, but I have completed 185 layouts for this year. So one of the things that I like to do is I will usually, once I'm done for the year, I will go back and I will just look for myself like, oh, I wonder if this was, more, or I label every month so I kind of know. Like in 2019 I did 153, but it was hard for me to get just for, hey, is that my average, or is that like low for the year, or is that more? So that was more of a curiosity, a numbers thing. I'm a numbers person. So the year before, so let's look at, you would have thought I would have done a lot in 2020. Let's see, where did we get to in 2020? Yeah, it looks like 159, so just a smidge more. And then in 2021, we were at, let's see, where are we? Oh, here we go. 133. So a little bit down last year. This year, wow, 185. My guess about that is actual participation in YouTube series. For me, I think that's a big, it's a big motivator for me. So I am happy. I am happy to collaborate with folks on any projects, pretty much as long as I can fit them into my schedule. So for 2022, I participated in Collection Obsession, which I'll have that information linked about what that is. It basically, makes it possible for me to continue to play with things in my stash, and I'm responsible for making for layouts if I so choose. So I really like that. It's getting me to my stuff is over here, which is why I'm pointing over there. It's making me use my stuff, which is great, and I absolutely love it. So for 2022, the other thing that I used, and it's more of an organizational thing. Because I'm creating content or ideas and have specific times when things need to get posted on YouTube, I've kind of tried to keep to a certain schedule. So for me personally, I post things on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That I find very doable for me, twice a week usually. Sometimes I do film, I do film extra content, and sometimes I use it in place of stuff. You just have to play around with it and to see what works for you. But I have this like happy planner that I got a long time ago on clearance at Michael's, and it was just one of the blank ones. It just has like the dotted sheets, but I really like it. It's a good size. It's not too small. It's not like the big one. It's the perfect size for me, and this is where I plan content, keep ideas, any series that I'm participating in, and also planning, making sure that content is, when it's getting scheduled and things like that. So I use this for a multitude of things. I also use this to actually track a couple of other things. When I order prints, when I back up my devices, so whether it's my phone, my electronic hard drive, those types of things also go in here, as well as some additional things about albums, particularly for my stepdaughters, because they are my stepdaughters, so I wasn't with them since the time that they were born. I recreated, having the photos, I recreated albums going back all the way to their births. So, but those are all in various states of progress. So I have a manner in which I track those. And then I also have one that's, if you're a YouTube creator, I at least need to know like where I am, and if you film different videos at different multi videos per day, or if you just kind of want some sanity over like what did you do, what did you promise to tag, like those types of things, I kind of keep in I just kind of made a label system for myself, and I do multiple videos, whatever fits on one page, that sort of thing. So that's more of a YouTube creator thing. You obviously don't need any of that if you don't create YouTube channels, YouTube content, sorry. So that's probably as much as I do in terms of planning and tracking over the last year. Oh, the only other thing is that when I buy certain things, and this was a big thing for me back in 2020, I'll get to the story later on, but back in 2020, I did purchase during Black Friday, I did purchase ATG tape from Tape Jungle. For those of you who don't know Tape Jungle, this is not sponsored or anything. I have my ATG tape, my trusty ATG tape, and I don't create every day, but I go through enough rolls where I didn't want to keep going like with a coupon to Michael's, or to a coupon, with a coupon to Joann's and that sort of thing, because those, those come in like two rolls per package or whatever, at least the ones I've seen. Maybe it's different now. So for me, doing the math, getting the Black Friday deal now, I still have plenty of boxes left, and I have gifted some to friends. I've used them up myself, but not completely. So we're 2 years in, going into well, not complete years, but we're in 2 years, 2 solid years in, and I still have some left over. So I'm not concerned um, about the rolls going bad or anything like that. I My space is in a lower level, which is cool. They are stored with no light. No light hits them. So, and they're individually packaged. For those of you who may be wondering about purchasing things from them, it's been great. So I really have been really happy with the quality of the tapes. So there's that. So I have that just for myself. If there's things that you're buying, what I should have written in there is that I bought my blades for my trimmer in bulk as well. I found just an online store. I just decided it was my first order with them. I decided to just go ahead and wing it, and I've had very good luck. Sorry, I have like a ton of stuff over here, and I'm just trying to pull out my trimmer to show you. So these are the blades. I actually ended up just buying them in bulk. I just found that the price of them was ridiculous, and I refused to pay what they were asking for at the time when I was looking. So it's fine. So then the other thing I wanted to talk about was thinking about next year and what kinds of things you can expect from my channel, things that I'm interested in, that I know for sure I'm going to be participating in, and then things that I've decided where I'm going to be making some changes in regards to how I scrap. And not that they're not major changes, don't get me wrong. They're pretty simple for me to adapt into my hobby here. So the first and foremost, I am going to continue to participate in the Collection Obsession series. So every month I will select a collection from my stash, and I will make, during the month, I will make 4 layouts with that collection. Again, the purpose is not to use up the whole collection. You're making 4 layouts. That's what you're committing to. And the other 2 series are new to me, but they are Through the Rainbow, and this is the 2.0 version. For those of you who may have heard of Through the Rainbow, or haven't, it is a collaboration amongst different scrapbook folks here in our community who they literally went through the rainbow. So they started off with a color in January, and every month it's a color. Folks pick papers from their stash based on the colors in that particular month, and they make a layout from that. So that was last year. This year, the colors, right? It's not going to be a repetition of the colors. It's going to be the in-between colors, or the in-between types of pattern paper that are in our stash. So I'm really excited for that. The folks who participated last year knocked it out of the park. It's going to be tough to kind of get to their level, because they did some amazing work over the last year, and I am so looking forward to joining in and seeing what we come up with for 2023 for them. The other one that is so close and near and dear to my heart is it's Tool Time Tuesdays, you guys. It's a new series that is starting in the new year. And every month we are focused on using one particular tool. You know, the tools that you buy, that you spend a lot of money on, that sit in your drawer and you don't use. That series is for you. If you're interested, I will make sure if this video, I don't know if the final playlist of everyone that's participating is going to go up, but don't forget, at least subscribe to my channel, you can unsubscribe after if you want, but you'll know that it's coming up in my, it'll be, coming up on my feed if you want to watch any of those videos, and you can see, hopefully by the first month, everybody will be listed. And so then you can see all of everybody's creations. So that should be so much fun, because it's choosing the tools have been chosen. And so what you do with it after that, there's no cohesiveness. The only like thing is the tool. So everyone's going to do their own thing. So the other thing that I know I'm going to be working on in 2023 is doing some organizing. So over the last year, if you've been watching me, not the full year, because I didn't start publishing videos, I don't think last year I wasn't doing this. No, I don't have a set like date in my head of when I started publishing YouTube videos, but I do enjoy organizing in my scrappy life and in my regular personal life. So one of the things that I have recently done is that I've gone through my non-themed pattern paper and cardstock, organized those, moved some things. So those videos are all linked. I can make sure they're linked in the description box for you guys if you're interested in watching any organizational. I have a whole playlist of things that I've done recently and not so recent. And then I have also very recently cleaned out my scraps. That was a huge thing for me. Even though I go through them, periodically, I have 2 drawers designated for scraps. So I think my hope is that in 2023 at some point, and sometimes this happens to me in the summer or in the spring, because I know summer is like downtime for me. It's when I do the least amount of scrapbooking, just because the weather is beautiful. You just want to be outside and what have you. At least for me. So one of the things that I try to do during that downtime is to create either kits from scraps, because that's easy, right? You're just pulling scraps and you're pairing them with cardstock, and sometimes you're finding a multitude of different scraps to be able to use to create a layout. And I don't create a layout right then and there. I'm just pulling the kits and the paper. So I may try to do that sometime when I feel like I need a break, or I need, I know I'm going to have some downtime, that kind of thing, where I don't want to be necessarily scrapbooking per se, but I want to be playing with paper. Don't know if that makes sense. So the other thing that I'm going to try to do is when I'm working with Through the Rainbow, and I'm looking through those particular categories, because they are very different than the color pattern papers that I've already organized. I'm going to try to go through each of those sections when I go through the papers for that month. So for example, if one month it's I don't know, if it's ledger paper or something like that, I'll make sure I go through that category if I have one, and make sure that that ledger paper that's in there is everything that I want. Like, are there some that I just don't want? Or can't see myself using, or does it belong in a better category, that sort of thing. So I'm going to be doing that. And then the other thing is when I'm doing the collection obsession, I am going to try to pick a season or a theme and then go through that section of the collections that I have, and just make some decisions about, it may be taking apart paper pads, just organizing and tidying. So for example, I did this when I was doing the fall collection obsession, one of the months in the fall. I can't remember if it was October or November, when I was preparing the monthly kit. I went through my embellishments, because I have my embellishments for the fall in just a plastic envelope sits right in front of each of the collections, in front of the seasonal collection. And I noticed that I had a whole lot of fall and Thanksgiving type all mixed in with Halloween. Now I don't have a ton of either, but the mishmash of both was horrible. So I decided to go ahead and separate those. I had extra plastic envelopes. I'm like, I'm gonna separate all of the Halloween stuff from the regular like leaves and sunflowers and things like that, and Thanksgiving stuff from Halloween, so that if I need to just make a quick layout about fall, I don't have to sift through all of the Halloween stuff and move that over. So that's just an example of something I've done in the past. So I'm hoping to continue that. There's definitely some areas in my space that I'm less than happy with. So I need to kind of work through how I want, how it would work for me and how I can make it better, right? So that's a work in progress. I'm looking at something, a project that I'm avoiding. I need to organize, I need to put away layouts. And some of my albums are busting at the seams. And some of the layouts are still like in iris boxes. So one of the things that I do is I separate my layouts. I have different iris bins for different members of my family, different albums, I should say. So there's a family category, there's one for each child. And then there is another for my, I'm going to start for my little niece so that she has her layouts all in, you know, in an album or two or more. Yeah, I already bought two just in case, because, you know, she's been around for a little while. She's 5, so I'm sure I'm going to be needing. Again, I don't chronicle every single thing in her life because obviously I don't do that. But if her parents send me photos and things like that that I think are like are definite like milestones for her or important enough for them to share, then I obviously do. So those types of those things I have to just get a better handle on. When I bought my Calyx units, one of the things I was really excited about organizing were my pocket page protectors. And I have them in iris containers, so I was very happy, like, oh, I'm going to be able to just slide my iris container in there and be fine, and it's going to all be good. The iris containers do not fit in the Calyx units. At least mine don't. So I have at least 2, maybe 3 D-ring albums that I'm going to need to repurpose, because one of them I just have, it's an extra, and then the other 2, it's the gold. I don't remember the brand off the top of my head. I don't want to say if it's, in case it's wrong, but the gold, and it's not the shiny like metallic type gold. It's the other. It's like everywhere. You put it on the shelf and it comes off, but it literally comes off. Like if you just ran your finger like this, it would just come right off. So I'm less than happy with those albums, and they need to go, because sometimes I do need to put layouts in there and they leave a whole trail in the Calyx unit that I have to clean. So I don't want to deal with that anymore. I just want to be able to strip off what's remaining and then maybe repurpose those albums, because they don't come off. They mostly come off where they rub with the Calyx. So I just want to be able to, like, I don't know, either just scrape it off or just sand it off. I have a little nail file. I'm just gonna sand it off and call it good, because the other parts of it, like, they don't interfere with anything. So I could just do that, and but it looks so ugly. Like, if you were to take them out, you know, they just look so ugly. I was just going to use them for my page protectors. So that's a big project. I have to kind of just take it in pieces, but that may be something that, I don't know. I think that's kind of boring for YouTube, but I don't know. We'll see. So I know that I have like certain projects definitely in mind, and organizational, like I need to just do some things around here. So the other thing that I have recently done is, in the last few months, I purchased a Rascog. So I'm in the process of trying to figure out what the best things are to keep in the Rascog. Like, right off the bat, I knew my tools were going to be like number one on there, just so that I can bring them really close to me when I need them. I have torn down my non-collection type 6x6 pattern papers. Not all of them, because I'm still kind of waiting to see whether or not this system is going to work. I had previously put them as part of my scraps, but I noticed they were not getting used. So I have that. I have my photos, my printed photos that are organized. I have that in there. I have some thicker phrases that I want to make sure that I use up. Those are handy as well. And then right now the bottom is completely empty. So I don't know what to do, what to put. Tell me what you store in your bottom shelf of your Rascog. I've been watching like different videos, and I'm trying to just think of things at this point, because I can't think of anything that I could store there that I would like need. I don't know. I mean, I could store some of that stuff. I don't know. We'll have to see. I have my stamping stuff, but I don't use that very often. And I don't know. Maybe I just have to go through some of my drawers and figure out, like, what do you use most often? Because now I have the 2 Alex drawers here, and which I didn't have before. I only had one. So a lot of my kind of go-to things that things that I use on a regular basis are now closer to me. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. So let me show you some of the things I've incorporated though this past year into my scrapbooking. So I have a go-to drawer. So different things go in my go-to drawer. But this is one that when I'm creating a layout, this usually makes it right onto my desk. So this is my distress tool. This is some foam tape. Oh, here's the other one. Here are, if I had a full sheet of foam, it would be in here, or half. And then these are the Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. Those are my favorite. So I have a bunch of those. And then also in there are little swatches and a couple of lists. So in 2023, I decided that I wanted to focus on using certain things in my stash that frequently get overlooked. So I made a little list here, and I just have different things on here like washi, pocket page cards, wood veneer, stamps, cut files, chipboard, different things. You can make your own list, throw it in there, and you know, because I go through this drawer when I'm scrapbooking, so that when I'm thinking of like finishing touches, I can go through that as well. So I also have a sample, or a I guess that's the best way, just a card. It's just an index card with the names of the different glitter like stickle glitter glues, or the Nouveau Drop. So that's what the N's and the S's are, so that I can kind of see what I have in my stash, the colors I have in my stash, in the event that I want to bring them in. I can tell you all of these Nuvo drops, except for the gold, except for the gold I bought. All of the other ones have come in like goodie bags, or they've come like at crops that I've attended, or they've come in like warehouse boxes and things like that. The other thing I have in here are just kind of these test strips of ink daubers that I have in my stash. So I just have the colors on here. Like I don't even remember buying these. I remember the pink, and I remember the Tim Holtz, the Broken China. All of the other ones, like I don't even remember buying. And I may not, because sometimes we pick them up at the swap table, so that may have been a swap table thing. I also have little examples of the colors of the different distress inks I own, distress sprays. So for example, I have a sample of what it looks like for splatters versus like the full-on spray, right? So that I can just tell based on my layout, like what would look nicer in terms of the colors. I have then the colors and the brand labeled on the back. So I have Heidi Swap, and I have Dilutions. Those are probably the ones that I own the most of. I just recently got picked up at a swap table. I got my first Mr. Huey, so that's this one. It's the I think it's called Holly Berry. Yeah, Holly Berry. So I always keep these in here because these are things that I never reach for. The other thing that I brought in as part of kind of later in 2022 is I brought my Use It Up drawer, which this has been in my stash. I can't even tell you. It's really sturdy. And I think I got that from TJ Maxx, Home Goods, that thing. And this is from the Dollar Tree. This is just a really skinny thing. It holds my smaller stuff, and it fits perfect, right? Like a little drawer. It has these little gripper things here in the end so that it doesn't sink all the way to the bottom, which is perfect, which is what I need. But this holds my one-offs. Like right now, like if I'm finishing up a package of something and I want to use it up, and I know it's going to get lost amongst the rest of my embellishments, then I go ahead and I put it in here. If I have things that, for example, I don't know if I'm ever going to use, I may, you never know. But I have like all of these like little stickers. Like these are perfect. There's nothing wrong with them, but I want to use them, right? So instead of them getting lost, same here, like these little packages. The other thing I put in here is I went through my doilies recently. Look at like they're just all cut apart, cut little pieces. So those are all in there. The other thing, when I was going through my scraps, that's where I used to keep these branding strips. I was like, it's the last chance. Like you got this chance till the next time I go to a crop, and I gotta go through some of this stuff, or else some of this stuff is coming with me to gift to friends and whatever. So I've been doing really good. Usually, again, at the end, kind of putting the finishing touches type stuff, or when I'm looking for specific embellishments. Like I just recently used some of these up in a different color. These I need to stop buying. I haven't bought them in a long time, but I loved like how these flourishes looked, but then I never used them. So I decided this is a beautiful color. It's like a army green, but it's pearls. And so they're adhesive backed, but I've just gone ahead and I'm just trimming them off like one by one. So I've started on this part, but I have all kinds of things in here. I have pocket pages, pocket cards like these. I have some cut apart sheets in here. I have some things that like I've cut from the Cricut. I have some ribbons I want to use. I have like almost finished packages of different things. I have some things that I don't think I'll ever use. So it'll be easy for me to go through this. And trust me, this is not the only thing I have that I don't use, but it's just stuff that I've just brought in. And so this, usually when I'm creating a layout, it will come in at some point. It may not always live right on my desk when I'm creating a layout. But I'll tell you, sometimes it does live very close by because I need some of the stuff to tuck and things. So, okay guys, per usual, lots of interruptions. It's now, you can probably tell by the lighting, it's much later. I'm gonna try to see. I don't think it matters. But that essentially is my, I've gone through, kind of showed you my my use it up bin, my go-to bin that includes my 2023 list of different things that I want to try to use up, and more so that I feel have gotten neglected over the past few years. So I want to make sure to get them used up. But yeah, those are my plans. Again, really, really loose, right? I'm not saying like by a certain day I'm gonna do I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. But needless to say, I'm gonna be having regular content on my channel into 2023. Knock on wood, there is no more shoulder surgery, there is no more any medical anything for anyone living in my household, and that we're all healthy and happy. And that's what I wish for you, a healthy and happy new year and holiday season. I sure hope that you have had time to spend with your loved ones, and I wish you only the best in the coming year. And I do hope that if you enjoy the content, that you will continue to support my channel. And if you're new here and would like to subscribe, I would so appreciate it. And I'm so looking forward to a jump start for 2023. Bye for now.